I've been trying to rewatch movies before I watch the latest installment, and my honey kind of gets caught in the mix. While I was rewatching the Expendables, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot some of the actors they had in these movies. So when they just kept coming on screen, I was telling my honey, it's like the Avengers. For anyone that grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, shout out to my fellow 90s babies. With all of these guys, it's just so cool to see them come together. I love the banter. One of my favorite things about these movies are the franchise-specific jokes and remarks. I just love these movies, you guys. Hi friends, welcome back, or just welcome if you're new here. I'm here as a friend to give you my thoughts on the latest movie I've watched in theaters or cozied up at home. If you're looking for my thoughts on a specific movie that you want me to talk about on YouTube or on the podcast, DM me on Instagram, let me know in the comments on YouTube or on the podcast. Tune in for new episodes every Friday, and don't forget to follow on the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, all the things, so you don't miss out on what I'm watching and what we're going to be talking about. This time, we're talking about a movie that I had low expectations for because we already know what this franchise delivers. I also had high expectations because we already know what this franchise delivers. We're talking about the Expendables 4. Armed with every weapon they can get their hands on, the Expendables are the world's last line of defense and the team that gets called when all other options are off the table. I love the action in all of these movies, and I'm going to try my best to stay on topic of the fourth film, but we're going to talk about them as a whole a little bit later in the episode. The action in this movie is good. I like the action sequences, the weapons, the chase scenes, and the large-scale action set pieces. I really like it all. The CGI was a joke and somehow worse than all three of the previous movies, the last of which was released in 2014. I chalked that up as them putting the budget elsewhere, but looking at the movie, I'm not sure where. Maybe the explosions? I know I'm gonna start talking in circles here. So let's talk about the story. Predictable in a not good way. The good in this movie really comes from things like the action and some of the banter between characters. The story is surprisingly, compared to the previous films, flat. Not to say that the franchise has super complex storylines, but they're all straightforward and not pretending to do or be more. Before we get into the acting, I just want to say that we don't watch these movies for the acting. That said, Jason Statham is doing what he does well, being a tough guy and fighting. On a side note that is so far off to the side, I hope I don't lose you. Stay with me, friend. So, I wanted to see if Jason Statham did his own stunts in this movie because it looked like he did a lot. I'm gonna put the Google search results on screen so you can see. But the top result says, quote, "Since then, Statham went on to become a Hollywood action star, starring in several hits over the next 2 decades. He's known for performing his own stunts, an ability that developed courtesy of Statham's early days as a diver," end quote. I didn't know he dove. He even went for the Olympics. And that concludes this section of the video because I'm completely floored. I had no idea. Am I the last person to find out? All right, so what did I think about the movie? Is it worth watching? Let's just put it all out there. This movie has its moments, but I think it's the weakest in the franchise. It's missing that special something that makes the previous 3 films so endearing. It's that, for lack of a better word, that cheesiness. And that works because the franchise really leans into it. I really love the cast that we've been seeing since the beginning, and it's awesome to see some of them again, especially after so long. On the flip side, it's very disappointing to see who's not back in the movie and the banter that was missing because of it. At the top of the video, I said that I forgot a lot of the actors who popped up in the previous installments, and that feeling of surprise and just having that big smile when they come on screen is something I wanted for this movie too. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really look at the cast list. I saw the trailer and I saw the posters, walking through the halls at the movie theater, but that's basically it. There was definitely no surprise. I really like seeing Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais, and they should definitely have had a moment. That was absolutely a missed opportunity. getting back on track, I was really missing Terry Crews, Jet Li, Harrison Ford, Arnold. I know you can't get everyone back, but there's something about not getting key people back and then not bothering to kind of just fill that role that makes it disappointing. The third movie swapped Bruce with Harrison Ford. It totally worked. I guess they traded Terry Crews for 50 Cent piece, but I really like Terry Crews. Do not get me started, you guys. Do not get me started on Antonio Banderas. Speaking of not getting me started, don't get me started on Megan Fox. I like her. She's gorgeous, stunning, but she modeled and posed her way through this movie. If it's as simple as Megan Fox hot, there wasn't even enough of that. I was talking to my honey after the movie about how, well, okay, I will admit that I somehow thought there was going to be more of a female presence in this movie. I think I saw two women and they just multiplied in my mind. I don't know. I'm very disappointed in myself. I was telling him how I wish they had women with more of an action background, not just action movies, but that hand-to-hand combat, weapons, that sort of thing. And he's totally right. Angelina Jolie would have been really cool to see. And after the fact, I told him I would have loved to see Charlize Theron too. Mila Jovovich and Michelle Yeoh would have been awesome as well. Have you seen Expendables 4 yet? If you saw the movie, what did you think about it? I think the movie should have waited and got that budget to bring in different actors and actresses, or it should have waited if it was a scheduling conflict thing. Was it a fun action movie? Yes. Was it a good Expendables movie? No. Is it worth streaming if you're looking for something entertaining to watch? Yes. All right, action fans, that brings us to the end of the video. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you very much. Check out the description below for a link to the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, leave the video a thumbs up if you like the video, so I know you like the video. Let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for catching today's episode. You can listen to new episodes every Friday, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, follow on Instagram, all the things so you don't miss the next movie we're going to be talking about. I also dropped an episode today on A Haunting in Venice, so check that one out. I have tickets for The Creator, and that movie is getting a lot of buzz, and I'm really excited about that one. Same weekend, we've got Saw 10. Finally, the marathon I am running, and all the movies my honey happens to be in the room while I'm watching, will pay off. Same weekend again, we've got the 50th anniversary of The Exorcist, and I'm really looking forward to that one. Finally, we've got tickets for The Exorcist Believer, which I'ma keep saying possession movies actually scare me, especially when they deal with religion and churches. So that'll be fun. If you're looking for that podcast exclusive on No One Will Save You, I think I'm gonna put that one in the bank and drop the episode when I go on vacation for my birthday next month. That's my plan for now, but exclusives will drop when I don't go to the theater, so I might drop it a week earlier. If anything changes, I'll let you know in the community tab on YouTube and, as always, on Instagram. So I hope you'll join me here on YouTube and the podcast, especially for those exclusive episodes. I would love to hear from you guys, so please let me know your thoughts on today's episode or just your thoughts on the movie we talked about today in the comment section on YouTube or on Spotify. I want to know what you think, so let me know wherever you're listening or on Instagram at A.Rocket.Review, and I'll talk to you guys next week. But until the next episode, spread positivity, be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.